I'm Mr. Ethan, and today we have a really great program that I think you're going to enjoy. Joining me today, we have Erin Spencer, the illustrator for the Esme the Curious Cat picture book franchise that you can check out at the Mooresville Public Library. And I believe Erin has a presentation they have prepared for us today.
Ooh, hello, and thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for being on board.
So let's see. Pop this puppy up. Oop, not that. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to talk about being just a general freelance artist, which kind of is what brought me to being the illustrator of the children's book, how I got started, and all of the random other things that I do as an artist. So, hello, I'm Erin. I am going to highlight my many jobs that I kind of organize my time around, which include being full-time manager of a paint and sip bar studio, being a children's book illustrator, being a freelance illustrator, and then being a freelance comic book penciler, inker, and colorist. So this is just the general timeline of me and kind of what my life has looked like so far, but everyone's direction is different. So I graduated in high school here almost 10 years ago, but in 2013. Yeah. And then I actually started college as a math teacher. I wanted to teach math. So that surprises everybody. But then I changed my major about 2 years later. I went to school at Purdue in computer graphics technology. And that's where I studied computer graphics technology and graphic design and animation. We did more like 3D animation, like what you see in new Disney movies. And then when I graduated, I moved to New Hampshire and I officially committed myself to illustration. So I've always been drawing. I've always had printer paper and a pencil in my hand. But I've officially decided to commit to being a freelancer. The scary step I committed in 2018. And so past couple of years, I've really, opened my shop and really taken on some big projects and kicked it into gear. And I know it's really common right now, manga and comic books and anime. And I just wanted to show an old picture of me in high school because that is how I started too. That is a pile of comic books that I'm in. So I want to first talk about my full-time job. Right now, this is what gives me my salary, my health insurance. I get all of these benefits and I'm working full-time. So it's kind of my main big kid job right now. That kind of helps keep me stable. So I'm the studio manager at a studio where we teach people how to paint every single night. And it's also like kind of part restaurant as well. And my goal is once I have enough projects to take on and my time is comfortably filled with all my freelance stuff, I'll be able to leave this job. And it's coming soon, which is very nerve-wracking, but it's good. So then on the side, when I'm not there, because that's mostly in the nighttime, I am accepting like projects. I'm accepting any kind of commission. So commission is when someone asks you to draw something for them. So I've done stuff such as book series, animations for video games. I've made logos for companies and any other graphic design they wanted. So I've done paintings too. Yeah. And then I'm also a comic artist. So I am joined onto a couple different projects right now as an artist. So I do the pencils, which is just the initial sketch and concept and layout of the page. And then I do the line art, which is called the inker. So I do all of the lines in the picture and then I color it in. So and then I also make concept art as requested by the author and the editor. And the whole time I'm like checking in with them, making sure that we're all on the same board. So we're working as a team. It's not just me. And then I also go to Comic-Cons and stuff and different shows. And this is what, it's been a while with COVID, but I'm excited to get back this fall. This is what my old table looks like. So I sell paintings. I make prints of illustrations I've done digitally. And that's primarily my medium is digital illustration on a tablet and stuff like that. So, and then I have the buttons and stickers. Yeah, they're a lot of fun. And it's a good opportunity to sell art, but also like meet people and get new projects and stuff like that. And so I'm going to talk about the children's book now. So yeah, I'm the illustrator for Esme the Curious Cat. We've officially come out with our 6th book as of, I think it was like a month or 2 ago, was the release of the 6th book. And I also want to clarify that this is the first time me and the author have ever created a children's book, which just goes to show like how obtainable it is. And especially nowadays with the internet at your fingertips, you're able to teach yourself like the process of this kind of thing. And that's what we did. And we are 6 books down. So yeah, so I digitally illustrate all these books. You're totally able to do it traditionally, like on paper in real life as well, maybe with like paints and stuff. That's a really like traditional common way of doing it. But it starts, I just kind of sketch out the initial pages from the manuscript or the script that the author writes with all the words and the poems. And then I create sketches for every page. And then I work with her to do some final illustrations with some lines and then colors, and we kind of create this watercolor style. And I create stickers and covers and any other products that she needs. So we've done maps, we've done notebooks. What else? We've been working on like calendars. So a bunch of random stuff that require pictures I do. And it has been published through Amazon, Walmart, and Barnes & Noble. And also random local libraries or local bookstores as well, particularly in Indiana. We have come up with a process, and just through communicating, we found a way to create a book every like 2 to 3 months. So we created a system that just kind of cranks them out. So this is the basic pipeline. I kind of already mentioned this a little bit, and this is for digital art. So if you are doing it on paper and pencil, you're just going to have to scan it and get it on a computer, but it's basically the same way. So you just create a quick sketch of each page off of the words. If you are doing the words yourself, you want to write down this is the easiest pipeline in my opinion. You can do whatever the heck you want. If you find a way that works for you, fabulous. But this is the way we found. So if you're creating the text, I recommend doing that first, so you have your ideas down. And then you kind of go page to page and create those sketches. Then you can kind of clean up the sketches and finalize them. Digital, it makes it really easy to edit them so we can communicate with the author. And every small little change, maybe she wants the sky a little more blue or a little more pink in the sky, it's super easy to change it. I know it's a little more challenging for traditional artists, but it's not impossible either. And then I do a lot of graphic design and formatting when it comes to getting it ready for print online. And that kind of step seems a little daunting if you've never done it before. You're like, I know how to draw, I don't know how to get it ready for a book. That is all available to you on the internet. It is, and you can work with the people publishing it. They will tell you exactly what they're looking for. So once you've done it the first time, it's easy and you can figure it out. It's okay, but it all depends on where you're publishing it, what they want. Yeah. So I wanted to show some examples of the storyboards. And they are not cute, but it's just to convey the idea. Don't waste 100 years on the sketch when you're gonna spend time on the final. So this is just kind of to convey the general format and layout of the page. And yeah, just getting the idea you want to convey with the words. So those are some storyboards. And then I also wanted to show the difference through rounds of edits that a set or a spread goes through. We call spread like the 2 pages when you open it up. So this was the first pass up here on the top left. That was the first illustration. And through multiple rounds of edits, we came down to the bottom right. So it's basically the same idea, but we tweaked it and made it, fill the page a little more. And we kind of changed the formatting and the layout of the pages, but it's generally the same idea. And I also wanted to give another example. So this is on our 5th, both of these examples are from our 5th book. We were talking about the world is our home and the environmentalism and taking care of our world together. And so we wanted to convey like the world was our home. So we thought, make it a little more globy, and we wanted her flying in her plane. So that's and you can see in the top left, the words weren't exactly done either. So we kind of grew it as we've been working on it, and through multiple passes, we came to our final. So yeah, and I wanted to show an example of what like the other products kind of look like. They're just pictures that were digitized or put on the computer and then created through different websites and different companies, and they make the product. So easy peasy. So that sounds fun and cool, but it's also scary. And where the heck do I start? I don't know what I'm doing, and that is okay. I've been there. First, there are multiple different avenues. If you're interested in art, you don't have to be interested in children's books. If you're interested in art, just try to find something that you want to specialize in, or something that really specifically interests you. I say find something, but with just this small list right here, I've probably done about half of them. So you don't have to specialize, and I still do most of them. So it's okay to dabble around, but kind of learn and hone your skills on one of them is a nice place to start. So I recommend trying to go for college. Even though my degree is not in what I'm doing right now, it still gives you nice technical skills. So it helps you learn programs, and you can meet some people. So eventually getting to college is a good way to go. Make stuff all the time. You might hate your art and it might make you really upset, but that's okay, because even people who do it full time feel that way sometimes. So the important thing is that you're just making it and trying to finish it, but making as much as you can, because even though you don't know it, you are getting better, and it's creating more things to show people. And then having like a website and a portfolio and putting all of your things together really it helps to show people like what you can do. It makes you look professional, and it makes you more of a business. So, and then people are going to want to support you and buy things. So we are a lot harder on ourselves than other people are going to be for us, and they're going to want to support you and hire you and buy stuff from you. So make it easy on them. So get a shop, go to shows and stuff, get a website. So go ahead and make yourself attainable. And as long as you're starting to take yourself seriously, other people will. And then kind of like what I said before, market yourself and take yourself seriously and commit. So if you love it and you find yourself good at it, then keep going at it. If you're not good at it yet, then keep going at it. So I am very big on fake it till you make it, because when I was approached with this children's book project, I had never done a children's book before, but I was like, sure, I'll figure it out. And then here we are. So that's how you learn. Yeah, I just kind of want to stress that it is your business. So I kind of take it very seriously. I don't have a boss or anything like that. So I'm really professional with the people I work with. I have professional communication and my email and such like that. Once you're on a project, you are never going to be working alone. So understanding how to collaborate and take criticism, and understand that if people are telling you that they want something changed, it's not personal, and understanding that you're working with somebody else as well. And then having the discipline and accountability. So knowing that no one's going to ask you to hone your own skills. So it's up to you to always be practicing and always looking for other resources to improve. And the entrepreneurial initiative. So in other words, like having the drive to keep your own business going. Most of the things I am completely self-taught. Most of the things I've learned are just from Google. So Googling shows nearby, or Googling projects available, stuff like that, and other training resources to help hone my skills. And yeah, I skipped a page. So yeah, again, I am completely a self-taught artist. So I think I took one class in high school, and I didn't. So I did have an animation degree. I did study animation in college, but it is a very technical thing. So I would consider that more computer science. It had nothing to do with drawing. So when it comes to drawing and the things I'm doing now, I'm totally self-taught through Google and through asking people that I know, and just practicing and working really hard. So it's totally possible. And as long as you believe in yourself. It'll work out somehow. But yeah, so I have some resources. I have some stuff, places you can find me online, just for inspiration. If you want to see what a website or like what a store looks like, I have those. And not that they're perfect examples, but they're just established and I've spent time on them. So it's a good example to have. And then if you have any questions, if you are interested in a different medium and you're not sure where to start, I might have a jumping off point. So I have my email there for you. I've got some social media up there. But I also have some free resources or almost free resources down below if you want to get started. So how to make your own website, maybe like making business cards if you want to go to shops and stuff. And then I have free digital art software down there, because that's what I primarily do. I use my tablet, but you don't have to pay money for the software if you don't want to. And then a free art drawing practice thing online. So it's good for like figure drawing and practicing. So yeah, and that's all I have. So if you have any questions.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Erin, again for joining us today. I think this was a lot of really great advice that I think is going to be really helpful to our patrons out there that are interested in learning more about being an artist and how they can make a career out of it, because it's you don't have to have all your decisions made early when it comes to careers and jobs, but it is a good idea to think about things, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you just want to learn as a hobby or what have you.
Yeah, I didn't know until a couple years ago. I didn't know till I was like 23. So,
Right.
but I've always been interested in art, but I didn't know that that's what I wanted to do.
Well,
Till yeah, yeah.
Well, that's why I think it's a really great thing having you on today to talk to kids and families about this, since there might be a lot of people that have, the interest, but aren't, sure that they can make a career out of it. I've met more than a few people that were working in fields, but they would tell me they were passionate about other things. They just didn't think they could actually, make money. And, it was the whole,
Yep.
oh, well, I want to be like doing X, Y, or Z, but I have to be doing A, B, C because I feel like that's what I have to do. And I think it's great that you're able to show us that, no, you can do the thing you really want to do.
Yeah.
But
scary, but you can.
but I do have some questions I've prepared. Some of them are more elaborative and some of them are more fun. I think we'll start off with a fun one, because Erin does have pets. They have some really nice dogs. Millie and Benson. And have Millie and Benson ever got up to any mischief while you're working?
Oh yes. Well, I have a picture I took recently because my tablet I work on is flat and I draw right on the tablet, so it just kind of sits in my lap. So sometimes I'll work on a children's book on the couch while I'm watching TV. And Benson likes to cuddle and be my table. So sometimes he'll like bump up and I'll make a miss mark. And plenty of times have they disconnected the computer, which I love. So when they paw at the power button and turn off what I'm working on, that has happened too many times.
See, those of you with pets, you'll have nice little assistants to help you out.
Yes, and they are put away, or else they'd be barking right now. They're put away. So yes.
Well, they just wanna offer some advice too.
They have plenty of advice.
They want to say hi to all the families watching today.
Exactly.
So I guess more on the elaborative on the work end. What kind of schedule do you like to maintain when you're working on a book? I know you talked about the process a little bit, but like, what exactly does the timetable look like?
Yeah, good question. So we have recently become very dauntless in our schedule. We're like, yeah, we can do it. We're very go-getters, both of us. So it totally depends on who you're working with, or if you're just like personal, if you're just working with yourself. But what ours looks like is now, so we will meet weekly. We'll meet every week. And normally we'll start and she has the words done. If not, she has like a little bit of the words, so I can kind of get an idea of like where we're shooting for, so I can just make a sketch, and then maybe my illustration will inspire the words. So she will have the words and we'll meet, and then normally I have the sketches done, so I'll have the whole storyboard done, sketches for all the pages done that week, and then typically there are only a couple like edits in the storyboard, or it'll evolve later. So I will have all those edits for the storyboard in the next couple days. So the time we meet next, I will already start drawing the pages. So normally I do like probably 3 or 4 spreads at a time. So a children's book is typically around 16 spreads, or give or take. Might be 16, might be more like 14, 15, depending on other stuff. So normally I do about like a complete spread, about 3 every week. And then we'll meet that week and we'll talk about edits. And then I move on to the next pages, and then for the next week. So I'll keep giving her new pages. And once I've completed a first pass on all the pages, we will start doing rounds of edits. So the next week I will have all the edits done on all the pages, which that has become very interesting because a lot of times like we change courses like midway through. So we have to edit like most of them, and they'll take a long time. So halfway through the process, it's a little bit more time consuming. But that's how we keep that kind of like 2-month schedule. So I would say like I probably commit, when it gets there, I probably commit like 20, 25 hours like a week. And I like to do it in the mornings. I like doing it in the morning and afternoon, because I go to my manager job at like 4 p.m. normally. And then I work like 4 to like 10. So yeah, and that's kind of my like calm, just like working, because I'm just working with my dogs and drinking tea and chilling, and so that's a nice like afternoon morning task.
It's a very nice relaxed workplace you got there going on with that.
Yeah, we're very lucky. It didn't used to be that way.
But when you mentioned storyboards, reminds me of with your presentation. Right before you said that the storyboards weren't cute, I was just thinking about how the illustrations of the storyboards were kind of cute. Like your little happy face Earth.
Yeah, we because those I literally spend no time on whatsoever. I just want to convey. I mean, some of them I get straight stick figure-y, because we're gonna figure out details as it comes. So there are sometimes I just laugh at myself. I show the author and I'm like, I know this is a little indescript. This is a little something. I might have to explain it. The more explaining you have to do, the less impactful it is. So that's not preferred, but don't waste your time. Focus more on like the concept, I would say, because you're going to find it later.
Well, that's a good lesson, I think, to file away, that sometimes the simplest answer is an effective answer.
Yeah.
But I also really like that you had some of the like evolution of what some of the pages look like in your presentation, because I know for me personally, when it comes to like books or comics or video games or movies, I think it's always really interesting when like an art book or something gets released and you get to see like the early versions of what things look like and what they eventually become before the end. I just always thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, and it's amazing thing that we like me and the author forget to do until the end. Sometimes we just forget to do it the whole time. There's like, hey, let's look back at edit 1. And mind you, those 2 differences, there wasn't like a ton different, but that was probably over the course of like 6 rounds of edits. So it's a bunch of like little tweaking. Now those pages, they were they had less to change. It was just like add a splash of this. We come up with a whole vocab. We're like a sploosh of this, splash of that. So small changes, but yeah, it is kind of fun. And let alone looking at book 1 versus where we are now as well. Like edit 1 and book 1, that is very fun to re-explore.
And another to shift along to, I guess, a slightly different topic, but to go back to something else you mentioned in your presentation, you talked about how being accepting of criticism, and I know sometimes that's kind of a a hard thing to do. Do you have any advice for our viewers about how to take criticism in a good way and pull some value out of it, even if it's not always the most constructive or helpful of criticism?
Yeah. So I've definitely, my perspective on criticism has changed a lot since since I've created a business out of it. Because I totally relate. I used to be like, this is my baby and I'm going to be upset if you don't like it because that means I'm bad. Like it's as simple as that in my mind anyway. But the moment you transform it into your work, one, typically, I mean, it is your work and you take pride on it, but it's typically like also someone else's project, so you have to understand that it's also their baby, so you're kind of sharing the baby. But two, I see it as, if you receive criticism, that means that they're taking it seriously and they're interested in evolving it to perfection. Because if you're on the project, that means they already have respect for you and they already respect you as an artist. And if they're working with you, that means they already respect what you do and like what you do. So if they're giving you feedback, that means that they really take you seriously. So I appreciate it when I get feedback. That sounds cliche, but if you don't have feedback for me, I'm like, I'm not perfect. So I feel like you're not taking it seriously, So that's how I see it.
Well, that's I think that's some more good advice you're giving out today, because it is very important, I think, to get the other perspectives on things, and especially when it's coming from a place of they want you to succeed, when it's coming from like that place. I also totally understand what you mean by being your own worst critic. Back when I was in school and had to write all the papers all the time for my degrees, I don't think I ever wrote a paper that I didn't think was the worst thing ever when I went to turn it in.
Yeah.
That was
And even when I'm teaching, and maybe I shouldn't say this, but I tell this with the artists that I train as well to be teachers. When you're on stage, you're teaching like 40 people how to paint, and none of them have touched a paintbrush before, but and think that everything you do is amazing. But as you're doing it, you're like, this is horrible right now. It's just it's sad, but it's very human. You just gotta ignore it.
Yes, it's very, very important. I think you're right to realize that you will always be more critical of yourself than other people are going to be.
Yep.
So another a fun type question I have is about the kinds of characters you draw. Do you have a favorite kind of character to draw?
Favorite kind? I like to draw. Yes. So this comic book that I got added to is pirate themed, and I discovered I love drawing pirates. So I like drawing hardcore, like tough, fighty women. I like drawing women. I don't like drawing men very much. They're harder to me. But I like drawing tough women in really dramatic outfits. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd say that.
That does sound like a lot of fun. The dramatic outfits sound a lot of fun. It sounds like there's a lot of fun that you get to have when you're designing those. And I know you talked a little bit about the character designing process, and so that's a very collaborative type arrangement. Yes.
Especially when you're not the writer, which I am not the writer. I do not like writing. I will never be a writer. I will draw other people's visions. But so they have like an idea of the story and the development of a character, and their past and everything. So I take that and I visualize it and where they are in that point of time, what it looks like. So normally they have feedback on like their body type and like race and height and just like things they're like born as, that their story hasn't evolved, and then you go from there.
Okay. So. Well, I always just personally thought that would be a really interesting process. As someone that is interested in, like, is a fan of comic books, just because a lot of the times you do have, it is a team effort, and the writers and the artists aren't always the same person. And it's always really interesting to me, the whole trying to get the image that is inside someone else's head, like on the page.
Yeah. and normally, I mean, bringing different ideas to the table is what makes it successful and amazing. And it's like the whole conglomerate of ideas. But typically, when you're on the same project with somebody, you're already somewhat like-minded, or you know that your brains are going to complement each other. So, yeah, I've never done anything that's completely off the mark because we already know we're somewhat tangent. So we're just going to kind of add to the general idea. So
Okay.
it's exciting.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. Do I have any other questions? Actually, think you actually covered pretty much everything I had with the presentation. Very thorough.
Good. Yes.
Do you have any closing comments for the audience before we go?
I would just say, honestly, like, you are the one developing yourself. So, and to have trust, like right now when you're developing and going into high school and college and stuff like that, people have put a lot of stress in your decisions right now. But I do want to stress, like, it's never too late to change direction. And you're always going to have people in your corner who might have advice or resources. So I guess just having hope and understanding that you can still like make that path towards your dream. So especially if you start right now, that's fantastic. Yeah, you have many resources at your disposal, more than you know. So
well, I hope if any of you out there watching have an interest in art, that this has inspired you and given you some help on your path towards making your dreams a reality. I'd like to thank Erin again for joining us today, taking time out of their very busy schedule. And again, Erin's social media and contact is available in the presentation. And if you liked this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the Mooresville Public Library YouTube channel. We have a lot of other great virtual programs in the pipe, especially for the tail end of our Tales and Tales summer reading program. And if you subscribe, you'll be sure to get those videos right on time at 1 o'clock every Monday when we upload them. Thank you for joining us, and I hope you have a great day.